Keep it. Ooh, yeah.
Guess who's back?
Can you hear me?
Yes, he and I.
I can stop.
What's happening?
I got it sorted, so did you?
Good man. Fucking disaster nearly.
Well, see, mate, you know what? It must be something to do with my phone, so much. That's why I couldn't get.
Don't worry about it. So we're here now. What's happening? Look at that Barnett, son. What's happening, mate? Tell everybody what's happening.
For every £100 we raise for charity for the NHS, it's going to be donated to the NHS. So every £100, a player of the team is going to be nominated to do their hair, and I was nominated second for God's sake. So
I see it on Twitter. It's magic. Fair play to us. Right, we'll just get into it. It's just going to be just talking about yourself in general and stuff right back from the start. So back when you were a kid, Joe, life in Ardoyne, how do you remember it?
Yeah, well, it was, I started off playing football in Ardoyne, for the youth club, but growing up over the years, there was a bit of trouble going on at the time, and it was sort of there and then, it was football and that, but
yeah.
It sort of grew out of that there, and then from the football teams, I went from the Ardoyne Youth Club, played for Ardoyne Youth Club for a couple of years, and the Ardoyne 19.
How long? Holy Cross Boys, best team ever. Holy Cross Boys produced. How does it feel to be the second best player in the team?
Yeah, no, well, I'd say third best player because you're Marty.
Joe, you're not the captain for nothing, son. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so,
go ahead.
Holy Cross was just when I started knowing I could score goals because I scored an awful lot of goals. I think it was 61 goals or something I'd scored for Holy Cross.
64.
After that, I think I never scored that much goals until I actually got older though. So
that's because I was setting you up, and then you were a year ahead of me, and from then on, do you know what I mean? I was a year behind me. So Ardoyne Youth Club started off with Eddie and Big Mark.
Yes, Eddie and Mark Cole, they were the managers then. Here in Braniff, actually, he had a telly, he taught me everything I know. So he was.
Used to be lethal, didn't it?
At that stage, we probably played against one of the best New Hill teams ever. Because I think they ended up winning 7 trebles in a row.
It was outrageous as trophies, and boys, when they were a great team. I remember watching them a few times. Big Tall and remember Clark Simpson and a load of young boys, Billy Joe Burns. That was some team.
He ended up going on to play against the Lyceums,
And then Celtic boys, how'd that come about? Getting aware.
When I played for the youth club, we were sort of struggling for players. I think it might have been under 13. That's when we started struggling for players. And then Eddie obviously didn't want a few of the boys just to stop playing football. You know what it's like. Growing up in Ardoyne, you sort of you're into the youth club, and then the team gets folded. You sort of you move on, or else you move on to a different team, or else you just stop playing at all. And just lucky enough that Eddie had contacts in Celtic boys, and they asked for 4 or 5 of us over.
Sands, wasn't it? Name Sands.
Yeah,
was that Big Dino? Was it Big Dino? Your man, Big Dino.
Yes, Dino was I think he was the owner or something of the Celtic boys.
I had to leave. He kept stealing all your chips. That one, isn't it? Right, so from Celtic boys, you were doing well. Famines, any trials when you were a kid growing up?
You know what? I never did. And I remember it was actually your granddad Mickey. He, I think Celtic came over here to play. Down south, and there were, I think, a few players might have let them down.
Yeah.
And I got actually asked up here for players to go down and play, and your granddad obviously put my name forward.
Yeah.
And I went down and played, so I did. So I can always stay and play for Celtic.
Correct. So you went still playing for Celtic boys. Where'd you go after that, Joe?
From Celtic boys, I went till where did I go? I went to Crumlin Star. No, the youth team.
Yeah.
Didn't play much. That team was probably the best team I've seen. Like, no, just youth ways.
Yeah.
They had Karen Trainer. They had is it
I
Daki
know
Han?
that team, yes, Stacky Hanwell, yeah. Bobby
Yeah,
Shepherd, he was
yeah.
to do that, wasn't he? Yeah.
And that team was unreal. But I didn't really play because I was still like I didn't really hit height until I was about 18, so I was still really
Yeah.
small when I was that age. But from Crumlin Star, I went till where did I go to after that? I think it was went to the Ardine Working Men's Club. So I
Yeah.
did. Yeah, I had a few years there. I was actually decent. I played for the seconds, then the thirds, then the first. So it
I
was.
was going to say I had to start a third team for you.
Well, that's what it is. I couldn't get on the first, so I had to do the seconds, then the
I was
first.
saying
So,
that the first had a good side back end, Joe. So
yeah, no, that was a great side. The likes of Brendan Mealy, Paul McLaren, and stuff. And I've never seen this.
And then you wised up and went back to the Star.
Yeah, well, whenever I went till the Ardine Working Men's Club, I went and played for Climble under 18s. So I did.
Yes.
I think I was 16 when I signed for the league, the Ardine, and then went to Climble under 18s. Didn't even get a kit. I don't even think I even started. I never played again. Marty Jones and Chris Saunders were up front at the time for the 18s, and I was sort of like, listen, I just want to play football. From there, I went till Crumlin Star, and then it's just went on from there. So it did.
Yeah. So
I got this. I
same
went
for
to
Star.
Crumlin Star because Kieran, my brother, he was going up to play for the seconds or something, and then here's me. I'm gonna go up with him.
Yeah. So that was about 2008 or so, 2009.
Yeah, it was 2009. Yeah, because what age was I? I was 19, 20 when I signed for the Crumlin Star. That's when I was playing for them. So I did.
Yeah. Trophies at the Star. Do you win any trophies?
Do you know what? I can't remember winning any cups now. I could be wrong, like, but I think we'll win leagues, but I'm not sure if we could get promoted then because we needed a pitch.
No, well, I don't know if you remember, you were on the bench for a final, the Junior Shield.
Junior Shield, there you go. I forgot about that.
Night, Joe, wasn't there? Me and Dan Whelan.
That was probably one of the worst moments of my career, to be fair. At the Crumlin Star. Everything I loved, but that there was probably one of my lowest points.
That's it. We had a final the week before, and I was gassed. I started the week before, and I got gassed on the next final. That shows how well I was doing. So next minute, 1C, you just ripped it up for a Star when the Fancy got promoted from junior football and the intermediate football. That was the 2009-2010 season, I think.
Yeah, that would have been that actually would have been the time where clubs started taking interest in me.
Yeah.
The amount of goals I obviously scored 61, 62.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was sort of where I started hitting form, and clubs were looking at me, like Newry City came in, Gary Flynn. He asked your daddy, he made a new your daddy or son, he knew someone anyway, and he asked me to go down and train with Newry, and Carrie came in for me. I went down to train with Crusaders. So I did. I went down to train with Crusaders, and funny enough, one of their coaches was getting to receive the way you do your badges.
Yeah.
And you
getting assessed.
Yeah. So I went down to train with Crusaders, all the players, coach, Owens, and all. Marty Dunley actually brought me down. I went in the change room, and then I was told that I wasn't able to train because they were getting assessed. So they obviously didn't believe in me.
Was Baxter the manager?
Yeah, Baxter was the manager at the time, so he was. And then I said Stevie Small came in for me. And then actually, I always said to myself that the first manager from the Irish League who came to talk to me, I would go and sign for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Stevie Small at the time, so it was when they were interested in signing me. But I think Clinville actually got a wee whimper that I was down training with Crusaders, and they were like,
I will make a move.
And then I think it was like 2, 3, 4 days later, maybe I got a phone call saying that Joe Climble are looking to sign you, and I was like, what?
Magic.
And especially after me saying the first person who talked to me was going to
go straight away.
So
that's it. I feel like your beggars can't be choosers. You're just looking to move, aren't you? If they get out of amateur football.
That's all it was. It was just because obviously I wanted to test myself, and then
Ah,
once Climble came in, it was only,
yeah.
straight away I wanted to go like.
So first season with Cliftonville then, you're down, Brezi's a manager, Brezi signs you. But Chris Cannell's still the main man, isn't it? At that time?
Oh yeah. There was Chris Cannell and Rory Donnelly at the time.
Rory was on fire, wasn't it?
Yeah, that season. Rory ended up getting moved to
Yeah.
Swansea, but it was sort of, I never really played much, and I'll never forget. I didn't. I just wanted to play football. I was loving after having such a good time.
I can remember speaking to Tilly one time, and I was like, went home and I says to my dad, "Here's me. I think Joe's going to leave here."
Yeah.
Just know from the vibe I got from you, like.
Yeah, I know, and I'll never forget. What was it? We were playing Dungannon, and I swore, I was like, if I don't get on today, ask me away.
I was at that match.
And what was it? I think it was the 90th minute I come on, and
Easy injury time.
there was 3 minutes left, and I remember saying to the tip man, it goes, how long's left? And he says, Joe, there's 2 minutes left. And I said, what's it? As I come on, the referee blew the whistle. Came across, I don't even know, I must have hit off about 10 defenders, and I just swung a boot out of top corner.
That's probably the best goal never to be caught on the camera.
Yeah,
I
was got it because that was my first goal, obviously, against Dungannon, and it was never video, but I'll never forget the day I scored. I seen a crowd of ones who used to play with, like there was like some hard Paddy you might have been there, Dawsey Brown,
yeah,
and I'll never forget that as soon as I hit it, I run straight over. I was buzzing then.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
I was like, I'll stay all week.
Brilliant. So, moving on a wee bit from there, you're starting to get more game time. Then Skinnell gets a bad injury, and I think that helped you a lot whenever you were trying to play it in.
It was yeah, I'll never forget Skinnell getting injured or the injury, because you know what, like round about the time Chris Skinnell and Rory were playing up front, they had me and Liam Boyce were playing for the reserves.
I know.
So we were actually, we wanted to be the strike partners of the first team, but we ended up as the reserves. But Rory got the move to Swansea, obviously. Chris Cannell got the bad injury, and then I think Tommy had no more choice but to throw me and Liam in. And like,
only how things work, like.
That's what I'm saying. It's a bit of luck as well, like, because who'd have thought? Like, there's two boys. Liam obviously had a spell at Trimble beforehand, so he did.
Yeah.
So they obviously knew how good he was, but I don't think he hit the form that he had before he moved the further Bremen and stuff. So whenever Liam came back, it took him a bit of time to settle in again. And then I don't know what it was. I can't even remember. Like, but the two of us just clicked, and then that was history. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So Ackle, you've tell me if I'm wrong here. You've racked up 3 county anthem shields, 3 league cups, 2 Irish leagues.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the only one I'm missing is the Irish Cup, and I've been beaten.
I know. Beaten a couple of finals, one final.
I've been beaten 2 finals. Yeah, that there's I think once I win that there, I think I can retire a happy man. But no,
so 2012-2013 season is the first league championship you win. You were playing a lot that season, or?
Yeah, I played enough. Yeah, we played a lot because I'll never forget. I've actually got a big poster and it says Gormley and Boyce 66 goals between them.
Yeah.
And I thought that was probably the best year me and Liam had together as a strike force, you know.
Brilliant.
But yeah, so the first league title was special because the year before that there, it's sort of, we knew we had a good team because we win the County Antrim Shield final. Do you know what I mean? And that's sort of like
a bit of a catalyst.
As small as it is, not like, you know, I don't mean that disrespect it. Like, it's probably the least one that you can probably win in the Irish, you know. But yeah, but once we beat Glentoran in the final of that, there, it's sort of set as ahead. And I think once you win one trophy, it's sort of like we're good enough. We're good enough to win more, and
some team back then too. Like,
oh no, it was an incredible team, and just everything about them was so good because we were so close as well. Like,
that's what I was just about to say. That you think that had a great effect because you were all mates and you were not necessarily going out every week, but you were always out together having a crack and all. Do you think that worked in your favour?
Yeah, no, without a doubt, because I think that's one of the main things, isn't it? Once you get your team together, you know who you are, you can trust people, and I think it's like the people on that team it was unbelievable. And then you had the likes of Tommy Breslin, who he took the pressure off the players, and put it upon himself, which helped massively. And I think that's why he got the best out of the likes of myself, Liam, Marty Donnelly, Jonty, Chris Kern, or Georgie and Katz.
That's and stuff. Great team. And I forgot what I was going to say here. Where am I? I'm just looking at my notes, so 1 second. So second league title. Do you think the second league title is sweeter than the first, or is the first one your favourite?
Probably the first one was probably my favourite because it was so long before they won it before, and then, but they always say that it's good enough to win the league. You're good to win the league, but if you're even better to retain it, and sort of like, as I say, the team was incredible. Like, so it wasn't, yourself from listening probably and going to a few games and whatever. Yeah. But probably the second one is as the saying goes, it's harder to win the second one.
100%.
Because it was so long before they won the first one, the second one was probably.
It's hard enough to win any league, Joe, no matter what level, like, but they retain it. It's unbelievable. Because I think it's easy to weed out the people. I think it's half a battle having a tight knit group. It's easy to weed out the boys who are just there for a wage. You know what I mean? And you've got the boys who are actually probably don't even care about the money. They're there for the proper reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, without a doubt. Like that team, them 2 years was incredible because like they were all Clinville men. They were close by. Yeah. They were from. You had the furthest person away was probably West Belfast, and that's 2 minutes across the street.
Second league title, 27 goals, 35 all in. That's a top goal scorer that year as well.
Yeah, that was a great year. That's where it started. That's where it started. Like the year before that, I hit 30. Yeah. And I always sort of said to myself, 30 plus is my target every year now, because obviously you want it better every year. But the following year I ended up scoring, was it 30? 35? I think 30.
I have 35 all in, just. Yeah. That's some going, like.
Yeah.
But see, whenever you formed that partnership with boys, it felt, when I was watching and seeing the highlights and stuff, it was more like, how many are we going to win by here? Never mind, are we going to win today? It was nearly challenging each other. How many are we going to get together?
Yeah, like it was. See, to be honest, Liam Boyce would have says to me before every game, what's your celebration today? Like that's how, like, he was so confident, and he was like, he had his celebrations planned out before he even played the match, and that's like, that just shows how good he was. But with that team going into games, we had already won before we had even get ready. You just knew that you were going to play a match and you were going to win that game. That's it.
He's some boys.
He's a joke. Seriously, like I'll never forget that one of the Irish Cup finals. I just missed an absolute sitter. Like anybody could have scored it, and he came over to me and goes, "Come on, you need to get us a goal here." And I was like, "Put that pressure on me, well, I got it, but we didn't win. But no, he seriously, we just give Liam Boyce the ball and I just run.
Even watching him, Joe, his movement and all, see his wee dummies and his wee flicks around the corner, he's a joke. Like, you could just see, that was the 2013-14 season, and I think he left after that.
He left the second season to win the league, didn't he?
I think so.
Yes,
it was. Yeah, and you actually beat him in the goals, and you got Ulster Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done to you.
Yeah, no. But do you know what? It was, because of the team. Like, it was just the team then I was probably buzzing with myself, but seeing as I get older, I'm sort of like that team was incredible. Do you know, like the amount they helped me, like, and I always say that without the boys around me, do you know, I wouldn't have been able to do all that stuff. Do you know, and it was just the team were so helpful for me for getting that year. So like it was that I would love to dedicate it to them and no for help me. Like it's just I know it was
Especially when
just
you've George and John and all and cats behind you, it
yeah.
makes it a wee bit easier, like, you know what I mean?
Seriously, you want to see like George McMullen's talking. It was incredible. Once George McMullen talked, you listened like, and I'll never forget. Like every game we went out to, he was captain, and the hairs in your arms are standing up. And you're going, oh, like
I love that shit.
This is a war, like
Yeah.
this is not a war match. And I swear, like, anybody will be able to tell you if you ever played with him that once George McMullen speaks, you listen like. And
Yeah. So, take it back to July 2013. The first year after he's won the league, obviously, he's got into the Champions League qualifiers and the draws made. We're going to Paradise. Tell me about that.
Yeah, Alf, my wife, she, I didn't even know who we'd got. I don't know if I was in work or not, or I was somewhere anyway, and my mom rang me and goes, "You were playing Celtic," and I was like, "Right, dead on." I had actually put on my phone to check in there, and I was like, "Jesus."
Unbelievable. I think I was in Thailand or something, and I was like, "Is this like?" Sometimes when you're away, from your own environment, you see stuff on the internet, and you're like, "That's not even real." I was buzzing like, but I heard a rumor that at the end of that season, Bradley was near getting the sack because he signed Joe McNeil. Is that any truth?
No comment.
So, first leg was at Solitude. Biggest crowd ever at Solitude. Unreal. They opened up the other side and all for all the fans beside the waterworks. And then going to Parkhead. Can you remember much about it, Joe?
Do you know, just because obviously the first leg was at Solitude. I started so I did, but I sort of like was like, Jesus. I've actually been watching it, like, just obviously stuff to do, like, and I realized, you're like, damn, boys were so good, it was unreal, and I swore I would never slag Afray Ambrose ever again, because he wanted to just turn, just, you know, he was just, right, Joe, come on, you and me.
Yeah.
But even that third day, Liam Boyce stood out of mid, so he did, and I think that's where sort of clubs were sort of like, Jesus, this boy's got it, you know, especially against the likes of Celtic, but it was an incredible time, and when we went till Celtic Park, I'd only played the last 10 minutes or something, if even, you know, but just even the step out in that pitch was incredible, and it was a dream come true, and it's something I'll never forget the rest of my life. Like,
even going to lots of games, like, you can appreciate how much history and stuff that the stadium has. Unbelievable, like, some setup.
Yeah, just even the walk down the tunnel as well, like, and I'll never forget. The same Van Dijk, the night Kimball went over to play at Celtic Park,
right?
And the way they usually showed him around the ground, we're walking down the tunnel, and there's big Van Dijk walking up. No one didn't even know look at him or nothing, just because obviously he came from whatever team he came from, and there you go, there he is. Turned out to be.
See a centre half hitting free kicks. That man, remember for Celtic? Oh my god,
Yeah.
fucking unbelievable he was. Right, coaching at Climble. Do you think I'd had a big part in the game? I can remember you always used to train before us down at Solitude. We would have been on after you, and I can remember I'm a wee bit of a weirdo like this. I'd go down a wee bit early and just have a wee joke at the session, and the stuff that Skin Little used to put on. There was a shooting drill I always remember, and there was about 20 passes before you got your shot off and all. Just, do you think that helped you a lot?
Yeah, without a doubt. Like, some of the drills, like, you obviously seen them, because I think Tommy and Minto were the vocal points, obviously the manager and stuff, and Skim was the man behind everything. Do you know, he was what would you say, like, he'd done all the drills and all, and just some of the drills.
He's more hands-on coaching, like, whereas Minto and all the motivators.
Yeah, like, but Minto were sort of the speakers, the motivators and stuff like that there. But some of the stuff that probably goes unnoticed what Skin had done at Climble at the time, because he had the team playing the way Tommy.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Was there, because it was usually a 4-4-2, was there ever any patterns of play, or was it just like go out and express yourselves, lads? Or
No, I think it was just go out and express yourselves. I knew Tommy knew that the boys had the ability. Do you know what I mean? And he knew that players were going to score goals, and I think we weren't conceding many at that time as well.
yeah.
So, but it just shows.
That's it. We haven't really mentioned the defence. The big Mark Smith, Jamie McGovern, Ronan, Sadak there at the time as well.
They were unbelievable at the time. Like you had
CC and Nats as well, like phenomenal goalkeeper, like.
And there was times CC could have played out. Like you want to see CC playing, he would have played out matches, no messing about. Like you were like, is there anything?
Fucking outrageous. Like some of the saves the fella was pulling off at times. It's like you could tell he was across the water and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people always say, like, what's the saying? Strikers will score you goals, defenses will win you leagues, something. So that's sort of they probably obviously everybody knows how good the defense was, but it probably goes unnoticed a little, if you know what I mean. Like not as much as it doesn't get as much attention as the strikers that like me and Liam got.
Well, the hardest thing is putting the ball in the net, Joe. That's probably why. You know what I mean? Where Boise leaves, and everyone says he'll never score any as much as he has with Boise. 41.
Yeah, no, it's. Do you know what? I'll never forget people saying that. To be fair, because it was probably something like, Boise's.
He's a main man behind everything.
Yeah, so when they're saying, that's the end of end of Joe scoring goals, and then, but as good as Liam was, we brought in Davy McDade, and everybody knows how good Davy McDade is. Like I don't care.
Him last year in the Ice Cup. Fuck me.
Davy McDade.
The movement, you don't see his movement never stops. Always ducking and diving and juking and running, but fuck me, torturing me.
Yeah, no, and I have no doubt about it that Davy is probably one of the best strikers in the Irish League at the minute.
He's
has been for the last 30 years. You know, Davy's incredible, and he's such a nice guy as well. Like I think me and him, he'd be similar to Liam. He probably wouldn't have scored as much that year. I can't remember how much he scored though, but I dare say he set up a quarter at him. You know.
Yeah.
But Davy's incredible. Like you know by the way he plays.
Yeah.
And, he's an angry wee man as well. Like he's got a bit of a ring about him. So, but that year, 41 goals was something that I would never have thought in a million years. Like because 41 in any league is incredible, do you know? And 41 in the Irish League was something that I'd never thought
magic.
I would do. Like.
Absolute magic. So that season comes to an end. Also, would you due to go to Las Vegas and Peterborough come in and spoil the party?
That's right,
yeah. How'd that come about? How'd Peterborough come about?
It obviously, there was talk, obviously, scoring a many goals, just clubs were interested in me. I'm near sure Motherwell were interested in me at the start, and I think they put a bid in for me for 25 grand, and I don't think it was accepted. So it was, I think Clinwell might have been looking more, but it came in. Me and Peterborough came in. I was like, well, let's get real, because Stevie Whelan, the agent, he had rang me and stuff and says, listen, this is going to happen and stuff. And I was like, something I've always dreamt about, you know what I mean? And I had Vegas planned. And
you can go to Vegas anytime, Joe. You'll never say for Peterborough. 50 grand, I have down 50 grand. You made Clinwell some money, kid. The manager is Grant McCombs, is that right?
Yeah, well, it started off, there was a few managers, to be fair. Over the last 30 years, I've had about 20 managers. I don't know if it's just me there. When I was there, Grant had obviously took me under his wing. Grant was amazing, so he was with me. And it's something I'll always be thankful for him for. You know, he brought me to the phone for a few weeks and helped me settle in. Also, Marcus Madison. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's a quality player. Like I lived with him for about a month. But it was sort of at the stage whenever I was out one day and I obviously had Vegas booked, and I get rang and says, listen, we need to get over to Peterborough, the deal's going to go through. And I was like, right, no worries. So that was whenever I met with Peterborough, and obviously had signed everything and stuff, and then they says to me, listen, we want you to come over and blah, blah, blah. And it just happened to be the day I was going to Vegas. So that was that out the window. Had everything paid for as well. So,
Listen,
but obviously it was something that I wanted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. When you get to Peterborough, then you're full time. What was the differences between playing for Clinball and then going to Peterborough? Was the training different? Was there new diets and stuff? What sort of approach was it?
Yeah, do you know, Peter? It was pretty good though. Now I'm not like, what was it? Every day you were in from, I think it was 9:30. I was in from. And then you started training at 10 o'clock. Yeah, you got your breakfast, and then you had training at 10, and then you were out till about 11:30, 12 o'clock maybe, and then you're going in for your lunch, and then it was home time. And it was decent at the time, but it was very lonely as well. It was like, and I was sort of like, I was doing okay, you know. I was settling in all right. Now I'm not going to say like I settled in like a house on fire, but then started playing the games. A few friendlies. I think we played 3 friendlies. I scored 4 goals. So I did.
Right.
And that was the start of it. It was sort of like, because the guys been in the changing rooms, there's 22 guys that I've never seen before in my life.
Yeah.
And I had to go and make new friends, you know what I mean? I had to introduce myself and stuff. To be fair, there was a guy, Michael Smith, I don't know if you know him.
Yeah. He used to play with Ballyclare.
Yeah, he was there and he looked after me, to be fair. He sort of settled me in a bit. But it was just the loneliness, see, going home, like just going home after training, and you're sitting in the house from 1 o'clock till the next morning. And I'll never forget going down in the Eterno myself, going to Nando's by myself, Starbucks, and my girlfriend's ring me. She's saying, "What are you doing?" I says, "No, I'm just in Starbucks." She goes like, "Who with?" I'm myself. And
it is. It's a change of lifestyle too, Joe, from what you were used to, obviously.
Yeah, massively. Because there was times I'm coming home from work and I'm going out with my mates or I'm going to talk. I'm coming home with my mum and stuff. But
yeah,
once I lived with Grant McCann for a few weeks, I wanted to get my own place. I didn't want to invade Grant's privacy, you know. And you were just going home. I stayed in a wee apartment, and I was just going home to myself, and I was like, Jesus, this is not all cracked up till what it's meant to be, you know. Now, don't get me wrong. If I went till Man United, obviously everything's, you know, it's something.
I mean, yeah.
You're going home with such amount of money in your bank, and you know, it's not. When I was going to Peterborough, it wasn't much different than it was Clinball, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Professionally ways, but football and ways, probably not, you know.
Yeah. So then the worst thing that probably could have happened, to add on top of your loneliness, you get the injury.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't rate it.
As bad as the loneliness was, because you were going to play the matches. I was coming home to myself, and then I went. What was it? We had a new manager, Graham Wesley, you called him,
right?
Graham Wesley, and he came, and 2 teams were playing matches. So the first team were playing Norwich in their training ground, and I don't know, I'm not sure what you call it, and he's obviously up watching, and you want to impress, like, and I go free on goal, and I tip the goalkeeper, and because the ball was bouncing though as I went through, and I landed on my knee, and it just snapped on me, and I was like, but I didn't feel a snap or anything. I fell on the ground. I was like, right, what's going on here? So I was laying there, and I knew something bad was up, because I tried to get up, and my knee collapsed below me. So like try and jog it off, and then that was it. And once the physio, he put on the big ice pack thing, what do you call it, the game chain.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
And then that was it, and I was like, listen, this is bad. And then I eventually went for the scan and stuff, and it was ruptured my ACL and a LCL.
Fuck me. So rehab over in Peterborough, did you come home or?
Well, do you know? No, I stayed in Peterborough, so I did. But the physio was super with me. I really got to know him and got to know really good friends with him and stuff. But every 6 weeks he had to sit. Now, not for the first few months, I wasn't allowed to do anything. Obviously, with the operation and stuff, I had to. So I wasn't really allowed to do anything.
Yeah.
But the physio was super with me. He says to me, "Listen, whenever you do, if you do this, blah blah blah, 6 weeks time, you can go home." So you were sort of that was your that was, you know what I mean? Like that was making me sane. So it was like 6 weeks time. If they keep doing this and doing that, I'll get home and hopefully.
Sort of setting me many goals for you just so you can get home.
Oh yeah, no, and it sort of helped as well. Like I was in Wayne Peterborough for a year and a half, and out of what many months was that there? I was a month or two even playing football, and that was it. Like.
Oh, fuck, terrible, mate. Just the stuff of dreams just turned so sour, like within a fucking month or two, like.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like, I always have a wee saying that if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. You know, my mom always says to me, "Listen to it. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be." If not, so, and that's what it's always something I look to, you know. And it's listen, it wasn't meant to be. So what?
Yeah, that's it. Well, you eventually came back and got a wee loan move to St Johnstone.
Yeah, no, that. Now it was
Tommy Reid was the manager.
Yeah, Tommy Reid was the manager. Now that was brilliant. I love Scotland, so I did because Peterborough, see, trying to meet people. Obviously, the likes of Michael Smith had a wee family and kids, you know, and you're sort of he's not young anymore. So went to Peterborough or St Johnstone, sorry, and I got my own wee apartment right away. And these two guys, the first day I got there, rang me and says, "Do you fancy going out?" I was like, "What?" It was two of the players, like, and I was like, "Oh, no worries." And that was where like I went up and had a drink and all. I was like, "Stop it." So it was just so different, you know, and it was good. They made me helpful, but I just knew, like at the time I was sort of playing that part game, and I was like, I'm going back to Peterborough. I haven't done enough at St Johnstone, so I was like, listen, I think it's time to call it a day. But the main reason, like, so after the injury, obviously get back from the knee, and then I went to St Johnstone. First game, play for the reserves. Obviously, they were just keeping checking on me. I was going down the wing and I cut inside, and one of the players just went bang, big elbow to face, broke my nose, and I was like,
"Oh, sick."
I'm only back from an injury. I've been out a year, and I'm getting my nose broke. Probably about an hour a week.
Unbelievable, mate.
Yeah, I went and says that the coach, and I was near, like, when I went and says to him, like, I was near crying, like I probably had my eyes water, and I was like, listen, I can't do it no more, you know, and it's not for me. No, and that was just probably because I'll never forget driving back and forth every weekend.
Yeah.
No, all the stuff in the car coming home. I was like, he done, got them back, and then it was back over again with a cup. But then that day, whenever I got my nose broke, it was sort of like, listen, that's the end of that for me.
Yeah.
I just went home and I just told Tommy, and Tommy was brilliant with me, to be fair.
So after St Johnstone, you're coming back home. Obviously, everybody knows the rumours and all, but I've never actually asked you, so you can talk me through it. You're coming home. Obviously, the Crews are looking at you, but the Reds are also wanting you back. Talk me through it.
Yeah, no. As soon as I came back, obviously there was word that I was coming back. So I actually went and met Glentoran, I went and met Linfield, went and met Crusaders, Clinville. But it was just obviously, you know, I had to look after myself. You know, I'm just coming back from full-time football. I didn't have a job, I didn't have nothing, so I sort of had to look after myself at the time. And
I can remember when the Crews rumours were floating about, and I was sort of happy for you. Here's me, he's going to come back and he's going to win more trophies, add to what he's already got. He'd make a few quid, and he could be a Clinville legend, he could be a Crews legend, and it was sort of like fair play to you, Joe. And then just at the last minute, just you sort of.
Yeah,
Did you have a deal agreed with Cruz or?
Yeah, I had everything agreed with Crusaders, so because I actually went and met Stephen Baxter 2 or 3 times, and I got to the stage where it was just the deal that was suitable for me, and that I went and met Baxter, and he was brilliant with me, and I says to him, listen, I'll sign on. I think it might have been a Friday I met him. I says, listen, I'll sign on Monday, and that was it. So I was going to be a Crusaders player, so I was.
Yeah.
I told everybody that I was going to be a Crusaders player because the deal was there for me, and I didn't think Flimble would have come in with another deal for me, and so Monday morning, I think it was a weekday anyway, and I was like, right, I'm going. Today's the day when I'm going to stay for Crusaders. So, and I think it was within like an hour, half hour before I went to sign, because I was ready to go and meet them and sign, and got a phone call. Skin, Jared Little, Joe, there's a deal here for Climo for you, and I was like,
Getting the manager at the time?
what is it? Yeah. So I was like, right, no worries, and I went and seen the deal, and I was happy with it, and I was like, let's get it done. And then there it was, I was staying back at Clinville, and because I'll never forget, there was the day I went down to saying, it was because obviously everybody had thought I was going to Crusaders, that there was a few boys in the bar in the social, and they see me coming in, they were like, lovely. So was like, God, but I couldn't play I signed in, I think it was January I signed, and I couldn't play till the next season because of the
2-team rule, isn't it?
Get signed for 3 clubs, but you can only play for 2. If you know what I mean.
So you come back, the team's sort of changing around you, the Clinwell team. Boys are getting older, boys are moving on. And you didn't really win anything for a while. How was that sort of?
Yeah, no, it was because I'll never forget when I went to speak to Baxter, he says to me, Joe, listen, the team, Clinwell's not the team that you play for before you went away. It's a new era, if you know what I mean. And I was sort of like, it's true. Like, until you actually signed for the club, you were like, I don't really know anybody in here. And I knew Katz, McGovern, who else was there? Stevie Garrett. I know all the players who sort of knew, but they had the likes of the all younger players who were coming through. I knew all of them, but I didn't know them. But as soon as it settled in again, it was like I've never been away, you know.
Yeah.
The likes of ended up getting to meet. Like I've probably met friends for life. Do you know what I mean? When I first went back home, I was like, shit, but now I have friends for life in the team, and the likes of Levi and all. Do you know?
Yeah. Magic. He's a great wee player too. Now, sort of been through a couple of managers. After Skin, Barry Gray, was it?
Yes, Barry Gray was on. Well, Tommy Bresner actually came in. Skin had got the move till Sligo, and then Tommy had come in just there at the end of the season, and we were thinking, Tommy's going to get the job, but I don't think he wanted it. I don't think he was too. You know, I think he seen his time at Clinwell was done. You know, and then Barry Gray came in, so he did.
How did you find Barry?
Barry was brilliant. So he was. Barry had done anything for the team. You know, he was a very good manager, and he was good for, like, I got to know him as a good friend as well.
Yeah.
And but it just obviously things didn't work out for Barry, and he parted ways. So
sort of a transition in team he took over as well.
Yeah, it was just, it's hard. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to come in and take over a team that was already there. Do you know, like, it's tough going. So it is, like.
It is. Then Big Paddy comes in.
Yeah.
Big man, isn't he?
He's here, and as a manager, he's as a person, he's unreal, and as a manager, he's unbelievable. Seriously, I think he can. If you see the games this year, the way he has his playing, it would probably remind you of the older teams. You know, when with the 2 league titles were winning.
I was just about to say it. I haven't wrote down style of play. It's very, very similar. Is the training similar, or has he got his own way of training? Would he be doing formations and patterns of play, or would he just be your normal coach?
The high intensity of the training he has us at is like, it's unbelievable. So it is, seriously, like, it would take you to go and watch. Probably big clubs of it. Like, it's just, the intensity is through the roof. Like, it's flat out, and he's a super manager, and the players he's brought in are like
There's a few coming from his neck because we were playing Limavady, I think it was, and we pulled in the wee paddle station, and I seen this fella getting out with Climble tracksuit on, and I was like, Climble tracksuit way up here, and it was towards Derry, like. And next minute, about another 3 cars come in, they all jumped out. It was Paddy and must have been our coach, Jamal McDermott, McCrudden.
Yeah.
There must be a wee contingent coming down.
I think there's 6 or 7 of them.
Like they're trying to take over.
They actually have their own big space cruiser. It's hard to do, and the 6 of them drive up every day.
Unreal.
But some of the players he's brought in has been unreal. Like,
I was down watching the day against Warren Point. Remember your man McDermott scored it from his own half.
yeah.
Fuck me, that was unbelievable.
Ronan Doherty, Aaron Hawkins, Conor
Doherty, what a player.
They're all unreal, seriously, and I think he's obviously he's only been in there a year.
Mm-hmm.
He is making something. Do you know what I mean? He's
yeah, you can definitely see he's sort of built in a team that's capable. I think maybe, obviously, it's shit what's happened with VAR and stuff now, but I think if everything's all right next year, like, you could see a big push from club.
Yeah, no, without a doubt, definitely.
That's good. So we'll go on, Joe. Just sort of a wee quick finisher here for you. Best players you've played with. So best finisher.
Liam
Boyce. Best touch.
Liam Boyce.
Fittest.
Ronan Doherty.
What is it?
Conor McManaman as well.
Quickest.
Thomas Maguire. Plays for the Gormley now.
Calmness on the pitch.
George McMullen.
Best hawker.
George McMullen. George is incredible.
Joe, thanks very much for doing that. That was episode 1 of Offside.
Yeah, I forgot to show you my Hings, my golden boots as well. I have them sitting here. This is just the 4. There's 3 here. There's 3 here. 1 stands for 2 of them, if you know what I mean.
Are they all left foot?
What?
They're all left feet, are they?
Sure they are.
Joe, listen, appreciate that. Thank you, mate.
No worries now. Hopefully it's all good. See you later.
See you later.